The next piece of advice I'd like to share with you is something that I learned while I was in the CIA. As an undercover officer, I was the dude in the back alleys of dangerous places at 4 o'clock in the morning, recruiting spies and collecting intelligence on threats to our homeland. I chased terrorists like Al-Qaeda all around the world, prevented Russian spies from stealing our secrets, and helped put nuclear weapons proliferators out of business. I did this in places like India, Pakistan, and in Afghanistan. And during my time in Pakistan, I was asked to lead an expedition to Azad Kashmir following a devastating earthquake in 2005 that claimed the life of 80,000 people. The ambassador wanted his own eyes and ears on the ground to get real-time updates on how the U.S. government could aid the Pakistanis as they grappled with how to recover from this disaster. The destruction from this earthquake was unbelievable. The number of people displaced and cut off from the rest of the country by debris was staggering. It was the height of winter, getting to negative 20 degrees below zero at night. Following our first reports, the ambassador immediately directed the U.S. military to provide helicopters to help move inhabitants of entire villages to safety, and I was helping to direct this airlift. We were packing CH-47 Chinook helicopters with 100 to 150 people each trip. One day, I had jumped on one of these helicopters to take me back to my bed down location when we got a report that a village of about 200 people had been without food, running water, shelter, and electricity for about 3 to 4 days. So we decided to make one more run. As we landed, the crew slung open the big bay doors of the helicopter and folks began pouring in. The officer manning the door was in full flight gear, which made him look like he was from outer space. One little girl who couldn't have been more than 5 or 6 years old had lost both her parents in the earthquake. She saw this whole scene and was afraid. She was screaming, she was crying, she refused to get on that helicopter. A village elder picked the little girl up and thrust her into my arms. She was yelling and so scared. I held her as tight as I could, and halfway through the trip, she eventually relaxed and calmed down. When we reached our destination, everyone piled out from being packed in this helicopter, and I put the little girl down, and she started to walk away. She took a few steps and then turned around, ran back, and gave me probably the biggest hug I think I've ever gotten in my life. She then walked over to the helicopter crewman, who she first thought was from outer space, and kissed him on the hand. He patted her on the head, gave her a thumbs up. She smiled real big, returned the gesture, and she ran away. The face of that little girl is seared into my mind because that day and what we did in the aftermath of the earthquake is an example of how America is one of the few countries that has the resources and the willingness to help people even if they're 7,000 miles away. America has become an exceptional nation, not because of what we have taken, but because of what we have given. So if you are going to accept a mission of changing the world, then measure yourself and your success by what you give to others, not what you receive in return.